Hey everyone, this is our last video of COVID Creatives beginner watercolor. And I told you we were going to be talking about texturing, doing different things to texture your background. And I have a few things here, but there are so many out there that you can try. It's just experimenting. That's all it is. When you're trying to texture your background, I used some darker color here so we could kind of see. But for this one right here, I made sure that the watercolor was pretty wet on the paper. And then I placed this down onto it and I put something heavy on it and let it set until it was dry. When I took it off, this is what I got. I really thought that was cool. I'd never done that before. So I'm definitely going to try that again. And then, get some salt off of here. Another way to texture is with salt, just regular table salt. You can get regular table salt. You could get sea salt, the bigger, the bigger pieces of salt. Anything that has that will be able to suck up that paint is what you want. And I put a lot of it on here. And if you look at it, let me see if you can see it. Lots of texture on that. You can even feel it because it soaked up some of that watercolor and kind of pooled it and added the texture because of the salt. Love that idea. Now another idea is you can use plastic wrap, or I didn't have plastic wrap, so I just used a very thin grocery sack. And you get it, make sure your paint is very wet, wad it up, place it on there. You can, with plastic wrap, it's easier because it does stay adhered better to the wet paint. But you can do several of these, wad them up, put them on the wet paint, put something heavy on it until it dries, and you've got a really cool texture. I hope you can see that. Really cool texture. Now something else you can do with watercolor, and people don't normally do this, but use stencils. I love stencils. This is the one I use for this. And when you can layer and layer and layer the stencils. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer another one on here and kind of hold it down with my fingers. Put some water there. Make sure I've got some wet paint and brush. And then you can just brush it on like this. And what's so beautiful about this is it's never perfect. And we don't want perfection on these. We want it to be just really different and lift it up. You could wait for this to dry. You could do a lot of other things with that. You could even add salt to this or put paper, the plastic wrap on it. Anything like that. So for these things, just practice. Find some things that you want to add texture. Experiment. Like this was an experiment. And I'd never really used stencils before. But now I think I'm going to start using stencils more often in my watercolor. So this is the last class. I will be doing some just odds and ends of little small paintings probably, or we may go into some mixed media, maybe some collage, just whatever the mood brings to me. And I hope you enjoyed this series, and let me know. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, my Facebook page, Instagram, and I hope you keep painting and just playing and experimenting. Bye.